Dear colleagues and friends, today on the anniversary of the Canal Hotel bombing, we're marking two international days designated by the General Assembly. One is World Humanitarian Day, designated specifically on the anniversary of that bombing. The other is 21st of August, the International Day of Remembrance of and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. I wish to use these solemn commemorations to honor all the humanitarian workers who lost their lives in the service of humanity and all victims and survivors of terrorism. Colleagues, 2003 was the deadliest year on record for humanitarian workers, and 2024 is expected, sadly, to be even worse. Humanitarian workers from the UN, alongside others from local and international NGOs, are being killed, injured, abducted, together with the civilians they support and who, as always, bear the brunt of conflicts everywhere. International humanitarian law is being trampled upon. More than ever before, atrocities are being documented, sometimes with pride by the very perpetrators, and yet impunity prevails just about everywhere. In our region, in Gaza, we have seen the highest number of UN staff killed in a single conflict. Among them are 207 of my former colleagues at UNRWA, killed together with 40,000 Palestinians in a ferocious war in which all sides are violating international law, and it is a war that may yet escalate into a regional conflagration. In the words of the Secretary General, this is a failure of humanity, responsibility, and leadership. But this grim reality should not be a cause for despondency. On World Humanitarian Day, we do not only celebrate the work of humanitarians and remember the victims and survivors. Today, we also demand that all parties to conflicts end attacks on humanitarian workers and on all civilians. We demand that those who order or commit violations of international law be held to account. And we demand support for institutions such as the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, which exist to ensure accountability for states and individuals for the most egregious violations of international law. Colleagues, we of course have a particular reason to commemorate this day here in Baghdad. The memory and the wounds, some invisible, of the attack on the Canal Hotel are still raw. We lost 22 colleagues on that day in 2003, only 5 days after UNAMI was established by the Security Council. The then Special Representative of the Secretary General, Sergio Vieira de Mello, was among those who lost their lives. More than 100 others were injured or impacted in other ways. I am honored that some of the survivors of the Canal Hotel bombing are with us today, still serving with the UN, working for their country. Please join me in paying a special tribute to them. I also wish to extend our deepest sympathy to all those who have lost colleagues, family members, and friends. And a special thought goes to the families of those who lost their lives at the Canal Hotel and who cannot be with us here today. We know that the attack of 19 August 2003 was followed by an increasing violent campaign by various terrorist groups which wreaked death and destruction across the country for years on end. Yesterday at the Foreign Ministry, I participated in an event to mark the Yazidi genocide at the hands of Daesh, and I paid tribute to the Yazidis and other victims and survivors of terrorism, including those killed at the Canal Hotel and in the attack on the building of the Foreign Ministry in 2009, also 19th August. Colleagues, today we salute the courage of humanitarian workers. We celebrate their dedication to serve all people in need, no matter who, no matter where, and no matter what. We also recommit ourselves to confronting terrorism and indeed all ideologies preaching the supremacy of one group over others and fueling intolerance and violence whether in this region or elsewhere in the world. The best way to honor our humanitarian colleagues who were killed at the Canal Hotel and since is to keep on promoting the values of humanity, justice, and peace. UNAMI is on the exit path, but we will not forget their memory and their commitment to Iraq and to a better world everywhere. This is their legacy and our continuing inspiration. And now, before giving the floor to our colleague Hazem, who will speak on behalf of the Canal Hotel survivors, I would like to express our appreciation to them in Arabic. مرة أخرى في هذه الذكرى أحييكم على شجاعتكم وأود أن أعرب عن عميق امتناننا لكم لمساهمتكم المستمرة في عمل الأمم المتحدة في العراق ولالتزامكم تجاه بلادكم. نحن نفتخر بكم كما أنتم تفتخرون بأعمالكم. أشكركم باسمنا جميعاً.